This week on Morning Mika, the greatest global gathering of women in history.
We often hear the term, the world is on fire. For women, it is a five-alarm fire. From the rollback of women's health care in America to the atrocities of war in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, we have lost a step. Perhaps we have lost many steps. So we wanted the 3050 Summit to happen with all of this in mind. Every woman on stage offers solutions, ideas, support, inspiration on our most pressing challenges.
That was Mika Brzezinski, chairwoman of Forbes and Know Your Values 3050 Summit, speaking in Abu Dhabi last year during our annual transformative gathering. We are now gearing up for our fourth annual event. And as vice chair of the summit, I can tell you with certainty that this year is shaping up to be our most impactful yet. This year's 3050 Summit will take place in Abu Dhabi from March 5th through the 8th, on and around International Women's Day. Hundreds of women from all around the world will come together to celebrate, inspire, and empower. The summit will bring together the most influential female leaders and innovators for unprecedented networking, mentorship, and life-changing leadership opportunities. I'm Huma Abedin, taking over the anchor chair today from Mika Brzezinski. And I'm joined by Forbes Women editor Maggie McGrath. Today, we are previewing this year's 3050 Summit, talking about who will be there, what we hope to accomplish, and why this year's event is more important than ever. Maggie, welcome. It's only in a few weeks we'll be hearing from an extraordinary lineup of speakers and changemakers. Take us through some of the highlights.
So, Huma, I was thinking about some of the speakers we've had not just this year, but over the many years. And a theme that we often see is folks who find success in not just one, but multiple fields. They are multi-hyphenates. And this year's speakers are no different. We have folks like Freida Pinto. She is an actress. She is a producer. She is also a humanitarian. Folks will remember her from Slumdog Millionaire and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Those are movies. But she is also so vocal about children's education and also maternal mental health. She has been an ambassador for Girl Rising, and she has spoken out on International Day of the Girl, and she and I share a philosophy here. She says, yes, this is a big day. We should focus on women's issues today, but also the whole year and every years. And she has been very vocal about the need to educate more women. There are about 100 million girls around the world who don't get an education, and she says we are shortchanging humanity on both economically and intellectually by throwing away the potential of our girls. So we'll hear from Freida Pinto. We'll also be hearing from Marsai Martin. She was only 10 years old when she was cast as Diane Johnson on Blackish. She received nominations for BET Awards, SAG Awards, but she didn't stop there. She became an executive producer on the film Little a few years later, and in that moment became the youngest ever executive producer in Hollywood. She actually broke a Guinness World Record for that. And it was also, I should note, a very successful film. It grossed $50 million at the box office on a $20 million budget. And finally, the last multi-hyphenate I want to make sure I mention is Alexis Ohanian. And he's notable because we don't usually include male founders in this event, but we do believe that gender equity, gender progress cannot happen in a vacuum. And Alexis has been so outspoken on matters of paid leave for all parents, especially fathers. And of course, he is a founder, co-founder of Reddit and 776 Ventures. He invests in underrepresented technology founders. He's also been a crucial investor in women's sports. He was one of the founding partners and owners of Angel City FC. And, you know, he says, yes, I'm a girl dad. Yes, I'm married to the GOAT, Serena Williams, but he approaches all of his work from a capitalist lens. He says women's sports are an undervalued asset, so there's money to be made by investing in women's sports teams and leagues, just as there's money to be made by investing in underrepresented technology founders.
Maggie, that is an impressive lineup of multi-hyphenates for sure. But we're also going to be hearing from a number of women in business who have some fascinating stories of their own to tell. Who are you looking forward to hearing from?
So we have two founders from the 50 over 50 community, one from the U.S. and one from Europe that I want to highlight right now. From the U.S., we have Sadie Lincoln. She is the co-founder and CEO of Barre3, the bar, fitness, yoga, hybrid workout that I'm sure some people watching have experienced. She founded it in 2008. Really interesting time to start a business in the middle of a financial crisis. She weathered that storm. She weathered the pandemic, which was brutal on so many fitness chains. She has nearly 200 studios throughout the U.S. and Canada. And what I love about her business model is it's a franchise model, and they're all owned and operated by women. So she's going to talk about how she structured the business and also why she believes there should be no before and after photos when it comes to fitness. And then from our 50 over 50 global list, we have Trinny Woodall. Woodall spent 2 decades as a British television star and fashion advisor on What Not to Wear, the UK version, but she always had a love for skincare and beauty. So in 2017, she was 53 years old, she launched Trinny London, a makeup and skincare company that she funded in part by selling some of that TV wardrobe. You will see when you hear from her, capital efficiency is a big part of her message. She's careful about the outside investments that she takes, and it helps build a healthy business. Trinny London does roughly $74 million in revenue every year, so she has a lot of business secrets to share.
She certainly does. Cannot wait to hear from both of them, and maybe some new ideas for a new panel, which maybe some movement that we're going to have this year. But speaking of movement, women in sports is always a big theme. It is again this year. Tell us about this focus and why it's so important.
So I alluded to Alexis Ohanian's investment in women's sports in the U.S., and we have seen a huge growth in the market opportunities, right? The TV rights deals, the name, image, and likeness deals that so many athletes are striking. So there's money to be made. There are also stories of resilience, and we have 3 speakers who are not only incredible athletes, but have overcome significant odds. We have Rima Jufali. She is the first female race car driver from Saudi Arabia. She went to school in the U.S. She was born and raised in Jeddah, but she was intrigued by cars while growing up. But it was really when she went to Northeastern University in Boston that exposed her to the possibilities. She eventually got her racing license in the U.K., but it was the unexpected lifting of the ban on women driving in Saudi Arabia that really helped launch her career. In November 2019, she became the country's first female race car driver to take part in an international racing competition in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So fascinating story there. Likewise, we have Najla Imad, who made history at the 2024 Paralympics in table tennis. She not only secured Iraq's first ever Paralympic medal, but a gold medal by defeating the 2020 Paralympic champion. But her story is even more impressive than the Paralympic accomplishments, if I can say that. Her life was changed in 2008. There was a car bomb that took her legs and part of her right arm. Her future was uncertain, but at 10 years old, she discovered table tennis, and it was a turning point for her. It changed her life. So she's going to talk about her story and the resilience that we can all draw from it. And then finally, I'd be remiss if I did not mention Yusra Mardini, an Olympic swimmer and also a Syrian refugee. She fled the Syrian civil war and also helped save her fellow refugees by swimming them to safety. She was just 17 years old when she did this. They made a Netflix movie about it. So her story has been out there, but we're going to be speaking with her at a really important time. It'll be just 3 months since the toppling of the Assad regime, and Yusra has a lot of hope for her fellow Syrians and the rebuilding of the country.
Maggie, these are not just incredible speakers, but also inspiring, and cannot wait to interview all of them on stage in just a few weeks. But one of the most important parts of the summit, and my favorite, is the meaningful networking and one-on-one mentorship opportunities that can take place. You know, it's really about connecting with other women across industries and generations. And as a result, everyone leaves with fresh perspectives, valuable connections, and tools to take their careers to the next level. For example, I remember interviewing young Arab women athletes, a figure skater and a professional race car driver, and then later being able to introduce them to tennis icon Billie Jean King, who shared with them her famous line, "Pressure is a privilege." It was just incredible to see the magic of that connection. They are generations apart, but share the same sense of determination and ambition. There was also a moment when an American doctor, who was one of our guests specializing in women's health care, met our Nobel Prize-winning honoree, Nadia Murad. To see that doctor moved by both the physical and emotional trauma that Nadia endured and overcame was nothing short of powerful. And to witness our service day last year, when Canadian actress Maitreyi Ramakrishnan walked on stage, the middle school students at Cranleigh School cheered and clapped at just about everything she shared about her own journey from everyday Canadian to cultural phenom. With that said, Maggie, what's happening on the networking front at this year's summit?
We will have, as usual, our Brella networking app, which connects people one-on-one at the summit. It sounds kind of ordinary, but the results can be extraordinary. I'll never forget one year talking to a young chemical engineer who said, you know, I work in New York. There aren't actually a lot of women in my department. I hadn't really found my person. But through the coffee meetings that we facilitate on the summit's floors, she met her person, and she literally used those words. So we will have those one-on-one mentor meetings. We'll also have our idea forums. You're seeing some of those images now. Those are small group discussions where folks pose their biggest problem, and they kind of crowdsource ideas, and they talk through strategies to really take their business or take their teams to a new level. And we're brainstorming some of the conversation starters, but there is no shortage of business problems for folks to talk about at this moment in 2025.
Well, and another big component of the summit is our service day, as I just mentioned. Tell our viewers what to expect this year.
This is my favorite part of the summit. I hope I can say that. But we always start with Service Day because it really helps ground people in the mission of this event, right? We always say this is an event about intergenerational and cross-cultural networking and connection. And where better than to experience that than a high school? I heard from some female founders last year that meeting the kids at Cranleigh, that's the high school we work with, brought them back to their mission. It brought them back. It reminded them to when they were teenagers and uncertain about their lives and careers. So what we usually do is we have some panel conversations where the kids can ask questions. There's usually a quick keynote conversation, but then we break into small groups where there's really an opportunity to dive deeper into the concerns that these students have about their futures and their lives, and for our attendees to give their best advice. So it's really a day of giving back, but what we find is that even the women of the 50 over 50 learn something from talking to these teenagers.
Well, I know I certainly have. Maggie McGrath, thank you. We'll have more exciting 3050 speaker announcements in the weeks to come. Also, we would love for you to join us at the 3050 Summit. You can get all the details at knowyourvalue.com and Forbes.com. That does it for Morning Mika. We'll see you again soon on YouTube and Peacock.